Hi, my name is Shinko. Welcome to my channel. We have been attempting to escape from reality with the warriors in this forest of secrets. It is the third book in the series. If you're interested, it's written by Erin and it's about cats. It's a fantasy. A trigger warning. There is characters come and go. There is life and death. So if you cannot handle that type of thing, maybe this series isn't for you. We left off, however, with possibly a lot of conclusions, a lot of hints, but nothing set in stone. Nothing's 100% yet. We can make some assumptions from the clues we've been given previously, but up until then, we are starting chapter 5. Fireheart had just learned some very interesting information from RiverClan, but he hasn't heard everything yet. So let's get to it. I can't believe I'm doing this, Fireheart muttered as he pushed through the gorse tunnel into his own camp. He had found some fresh fox dung, poop, in the forest and rolled in it until he reeked. No cat would even guess he had been in RiverClan territory now. Whether they would let him into the warrior's den was another matter. At least he had managed to catch a squirrel on his way back, so he wasn't returning empty-pawed. As he emerged from the gorse tunnel, Fireheart saw Bluestar standing on top of the high rock. He realized he had just missed hearing her call the clan together, because other cats were appearing from their dens to gather below her. Fireheart left his squirrel on the pile of brushkill and padded over to join them. Across the clearing, Brindleface's kits tumbled out of the nursery, followed by Brindleface herself. Fireheart could easily pick out his sister's son, Cloudkit, by his gleaming white fur. Princess, Fireheart's sister, who still lived in Two Lake Place, had no wish to leave the comfortable life of a kitty pet, but Fireheart's tales of the clan life had captivated her, and she had given her eldest son to the clan. So far, the clan cats were finding it hard to accept another kitty pet among them, even though Brindleface treated him like one of her own kits. Fireheart knew from experience how much determination Cloudkit would need to make a place for himself. As he drew closer, Fireheart heard the white kit complaining loudly to Brindleface. "Why can't I be an apprentice? I'm nearly as big as that dumb ginger kid of Frostfurs." Fireheart's interest quickened. Bluestar must be about to perform the apprentice naming ceremony for Frostfur's two remaining kits. Their brother and sister, Brackenpaw and Cinderpaw, had been named apprentices a few moons ago, and Fireheart could guess that these two must be desperate for their own naming. He was glad that he had returned in time to witness it. "Shh!" Brindleface whispered to Cloudkit as she gathered her kits around her and found them a place to sit. "You can't be an apprentice until you're 6 moons old." "But I want to be an apprentice now!" Fireheart left Brindleface trying to explain clan customs to the insistent Cloudkit and went to sit near the front of the gathering next to Sandstorm. Her head whipped around in alarm as he took his place. "Fireheart, where have you been? You smell like a fox that's been dead for a moon." "Sorry," Fireheart mumbled. "It was an accident." He hated the stench as much as any cat, and he didn't like having to lie to Sandstorm about how he had come to smell like that. "Well, stay away from me till it wears off then." Though Sandstorm's words were firm, there was laughter in her eyes as she shifted a tail length away from him. "And clean yourself up before you come into the den," growled a familiar voice. Fireheart turned to see Tigerclaw standing behind him. "I'm not going to sleep with that stink in my nose." Fireheart dipped his head in embarrassment as Tigerclaw stalked away, then looked up as Bluestar began to speak. We are gathered here to give 2 clan kits their apprentice names. She glanced down to where Frostfur was sitting proudly, their tail curled neatly over her paws. The 2 kits sat one on each side of her, and as Bluestar spoke, the bigger one of them, the Ginger Kit, like his brother Breckapaw, sprang impatiently to his paws. Yes, come forward, both of you, Bluestar invited warmly. The Ginger Kit dashed forward and skidded to a stop at the foot of the high rock. His sister followed more sedately. She was white, like her mother, except for ginger patches along her back and a ginger tail. Fireheart closed his eyes for a moment. Not long ago, he had been given Cinderpaw as his apprentice. He half wished that he could be mentor to one of these kids, but he knew that if Bluestar had chosen him for this honor, she would have already told him to expect it. Perhaps she would never choose him again, he thought with a pang that chilled his heart. After all, he failed Cinderpaw so badly. Mousefur, meowed Bluestar, you have told me that you are ready to take on an apprentice. You will be mentor to Thornpaw. Fireheart watched as Mousefur, a wiry, compact she-cat with brown fur, stepped forward and went to stand beside the Ginger Kit, who scampered up to meet her. Mousefur, Bluestar went on, you have shown yourself a brave and intelligent warrior. See that you pass on your courage and wisdom to your new apprentice. While Bluestar spoke, Mousefur looked just as proud as the newly named Thornpaw. The 2 of them touched noses and withdrew to the edge of the clearing. Fireheart could hear Thornpaw meowing eagerly, as if he was already plying his mentor with questions. The Ginger and White Kit was still standing beneath High Rock, looking up at Bluestar. Fireheart was close enough to see her whiskers quivering with anticipation. White Storm, Bluestar announced. You are free to take a new apprentice now that Sandstorm has become a warrior. You will be mentor to Brightpaw. The big white cat, who had been stretched out at the front of the gathering, stood up and padded over to Brightpaw. She waited for him, her eyes shining. White Storm, meowed Bluestar. You are a warrior of great skill and experience. I know that you will pass on all you know to this young apprentice. Certainly, White Storm purred. Welcome, Brightpaw. He bent to touch noses with her and escorted her back to the assembled cats. The other cats began to gather around, congratulating the 2 new apprentices and calling them by their new names. As he went to join them, Fireheart caught sight of Graystripe at the back of the crowd beside the tunnel. His friend must have returned to camp unseen while the rest of the clan were listening to Bluestar. It's all arranged, Graystripe meowed softly, padding over to Fireheart. If it's sunny tomorrow, Silverstream and Mistyfoot will persuade Graypool to leave the camp for some exercise. They'll meet us at Sunhigh. Where? Fireheart asked, not sure that he wanted to go far into RiverClan territory 2 days running. It was dangerous to leave so much fresh ThunderClan scent there. There's a quiet glade just over the border, not far from the Two-Leg Bridge, Graystripe explained. Silverstream and I used to meet there before, you know. Fireheart understood. Graystripe had been keeping his promise about meeting Silverstream only at Four Trees, and it was only because of his desire to find out about the Sunning Rocks battle that they're even taking an extra risk. Thank you, he murmured sincerely. As he padded over to the pile of fresh kill to choose a piece for himself, his paws twitched in anticipation of the next Sunhigh, when he would discover what Graypool knew of this mystery. This is the place, Graystripe whispered. He and Fireheart were only a few rabbit hops over the RiverClan border on their own side of the river. The ground gave way to a deep hollow sheltered by thorn bushes. Snow had drifted there, and a tiny stream, frozen now into icicles, carved a deep channel between 2 rocks. Fireheart guessed that when New Leaf came and the snow melted, this would be a beautiful and well-hidden place. The two cats squeezed under one of the thorn bushes and scrabbled among the dead leaves to make a comfortable nest while they waited. Fireheart had caught a mouse on the way and brought it as a gift for Greypool. He dropped it where the leaves were driest, trying to forget his own hunger, and settled down with his paws tucked under him. He knew he was putting himself and his friends in danger with this meeting, not to mention the fact that he was breaking the warrior code and lying to his clan. Fireheart only wished he could be sure that the path he had chosen was the right one. The weak leaf bare sunlight glittered on the snow in the hollow. Sunhigh had come and gone, and Fireheart was beginning to think the other cats weren't coming when he caught a RiverClan scent and heard a thin, elderly voice raised in complaint from the direction of the river. "This is too far from my old bones! I'm going to freeze to death!" "Nonsense, Greypool. It's a beautiful day." That was Silverstream. "The exercise will do you good." Fireheart heard a snort of contempt in response. 3 cats came into view, picking their way down the side of the hollow. 2 of them were Silverstream and Mistyfoot. The third was an elder he had never seen before, a skinny she-cat with patchy fur and a scarred muzzle turning white with age. Halfway down the hollow she paused, stiffening as she sniffed the air. "There are ThunderClan cats here," she hissed. Fireheart saw Silverstream and Mistyfoot exchanged a worried glance. Yes, I know." Mistyfoot soothed the elderly she-cat. "It's all right." Greypool gave her a suspicious look. "What do you mean it's all right? What are they doing here?" "They just want to talk to you," Mistyfoot said gently. "Trust me." Fireheart beat. Fireheart was afraid the elder would turn back, yowling to raise the alarm. But to his relief, Greypool's curiosity was too much for her. She patted after Mistyfoot, shaking her paws with disgust as they sank into the soft snow. "Greystripe?" Silverstream mewed warily. Greystripe stuck his head out of the bush. "We're here." The 3 RiverClan cats pushed their way into the prickly shelter. Greypool tensed as she came face to face with Fireheart and Greystripe. Her yellow eyes flared with hostility. "This is Fireheart, and this is Greystripe," meowed Silverstream. "They—" "2 of them," Greypool interrupted. "There had better be a good explanation for this." "There is," Mistyfoot assured her. "They're decent cats. For ThunderClan, anyway. Give them a chance to explain." Both she and Silverstream looked expectantly at Fireheart. "We need to talk to you," Fireheart began, feeling his whiskers twitch nervously. He pushed the piece of brushkill toward her with one paw. "Here, I brought this for you." Greypool eyed the mouse. "Well, at least you remember your manners, ThunderClan or not." She crouched down and began to crunch the fresh kill, showing teeth broken with age. "Stringy, but it'll do," she rasped, gulping. While she was eating, Fireheart tried to find the right words for what he needed to say. "I want to ask you about something Elkhart said before he died," he ventured. Greypool's ears twitched. "I heard what happened in the battle at Sunning Rocks," Fireheart continued. "Before he died, Elkhart told one of our warriors that no ThunderClan cat should ever harm Stonefur. Do you know what he might have meant?" Greypool did not reply until she had swallowed the last morsel of mouse and swiped a remarkably pink tongue around her muzzle. Then she sat up and curled her tail around her paws. She fixed a thoughtful gaze on Fireheart for several long moments, until he felt that she could see everything that was in his mind. I think you should go, she meowed at last to the two young RiverClan cats. Go on, out! You too, she added to Graystripe. I'll talk to Fireheart alone. I can see he's the one who needs to know. Fireheart bit back a bit of protest. If he insisted that Graystripe should stay, the RiverClan elder might refuse to talk at all. He looked at his friend and saw his own puzzled expression reflected in Graystripe's yellow eyes. What did Graypool have to say that she didn't want her own clan to hear? Fireheart shivered, not from the cold. Some instinct told him there was a secret here, dark as the shadow of a crow's wing. But if it was a RiverClan secret, he couldn't imagine what it could have to do with ThunderClan. From the glances they exchanged, Silverstream and Mistyfoot were just as confused, but they started to back out from the bush without protest. We'll wait for you near the two-leg bridge, Silverstream meowed. There's no need, Graypool hissed impatiently. I may be old, but I'm not helpless. I'll find my own way back. Silverstream shrugged, and the two RiverClan cats withdrew, with Graystripe following them. Graypool sat in silence until the sense of the cats who had left began to fade. Now, she began, Mistyfoot has told you that I'm her mother and Stonefur's, yes? Yes, she has. Fireheart's initial nervousness was ebbing away, to be replaced with respect for this ancient enemy queen, as he sensed the wisdom beneath her apparent short temper. Well, growled the old she-cat, I'm not. As Fireheart opened his mouth to speak, she went on, I brought the pair of them up as kids, but I didn't give birth to them. Elkhart brought them to me in the middle of Leaf Fair when they were just a few days old. But where did Elkhart get the kits? Fireheart blurted out. Graypool's eyes narrowed. He told me he found them in the forest, as if they had been abandoned by rogue cats or two legs, she meowed. But I'm not stupid, and my nose has always worked just fine. The kits smelled of the forest all right, but there was another scent underneath, the scent of ThunderClan. Chapter 6. What? Fireheart was so astonished he could hardly speak. Are you saying that Mistyfoot and Stonefur came from ThunderClan? Yes. Graypool gave her chest for a couple of licks. That's exactly what I'm telling you. Fireheart was stunned. Did Elkhart steal them? He asked. Graypool's fur bristled, and she drew back her lips into a snarl. Elkhart was a noble warrior. He would never stoop to stealing kits. I'm sorry, alarmed. Fireheart crouched and flattened his ears. I didn't mean it's just so hard to believe. Graypool sniffed, and her fur gradually lay flat again. Fireheart was still struggling with what she had just told him. If Elkhart hadn't stolen the kits, perhaps rogue cats had taken them from ThunderClan camp? But why? And why abandon them so quickly, when the scent of their clan fur was still on them? Then, if they were ThunderClan kits, why did you look after them? He stammered. What clan would willingly take in enemy kits? And in a season when prey was already scarce? Graypool shrugged. Because Elkhart asked me to. He may not have been deputy back then, but he was a fine young warrior. I had recently given birth to kits of my own, but all except one died in the bitter cold. I had plenty of milk to spare, and the poor little scraps would never have lived to see the sunrise if some cat hadn't cared for them. The ThunderClan scent soon faded, she went on, and even if Elkhart hadn't told the truth about where they came from, I respected him enough not to ask any more questions. Thanks to Elkhart, and to me. They grew into strong kids, and now they're good warriors, a credit to their clan. Do Mistyfoot and Stonefur know all this? Fireheart asked. Now listen to me, rasped Greypool. Mistyfoot and Stonefur know nothing, and if you tell them what I've just told you, I'll rip your liver out and feed it to the crows. She thrust her head forward and drew her lips back as she spoke, baring her teeth. In spite of her age, Fireheart flinched. They never doubted that I'm their real mother. Greypool growled. I like to think they even look a bit like me. As she spoke, Fireheart felt something stir in his mind, like the twitch of a fallen leaf that betrayed the mouse sheltering beneath it. He thought that what Greypool had just said should mean something to him, but when he tried to capture the thought, it scuttled away. They have always been loyal to RiverClan, Greypool insisted. I don't want that loyalty to be divided now. I've heard the gossip about you, Fireheart. I know you were once a kitty pet, so you should understand more than any cat what it means to have a paw in two places. Fireheart knew he would never make any cat go through the uncertainties that he suffered himself about not fully belonging to his clan. I promise I'll never tell them, he meowed solemnly. I swear by StarClan. The old cat relaxed and stretched, her front paws extended and her rump in the air. I accept your word, Fireheart, she replied. I don't know if this has helped you at all, but it might explain why Oakheart would never let a ThunderClan cat harm Mistyfoot or Stonefur. Even if he claimed to know nothing about where they came from, he would have smelled the ThunderClan scent on them as clearly as I did. As far as they're concerned, they are loyal only to RiverClan, but it would seem that Oakheart's loyalties were divided on their behalf. I'm very grateful to you, Fireheart purred, trying to sound as respectful as he could. I don't know what this means in relation to what I found out, but I really think it's important for both of our clans. That's as it may be, meowed Greypool. She frowned. But now that I've told you everything, you must leave our territory. Of course, Fireheart meowed. You won't even know I've been here. At Greypool. He paused before thrusting his way out of the bush and held her pale yellow gaze for a moment. Thank you. I'm going to end it there. So, this does give 100% confirmation. The clues we could kind of gather, the two kids that Oakheart brought in the beginning turned out to be Stonefur and Mistyfoot. They don't know. That much is obvious. So, it's been confirmed that what's happened to Oakheart was an accident. Rock fell, killed him. Redtail didn't intentionally kill Oakheart. And if we think back, that was the major thing that Blue Star had a hard concept grasping. That Redtail would kill another cat. No one believes Redtail would kill another cat. I mean, obviously, as the reader, you maybe don't know anything about Redtail, the character. He unfortunately died before we really got introduced to him. You're literally introduced into the series with his death. But from what everyone believes, Redtail will never do that. And it's been confirmed even by the medicine cat, which is like their doctor. Hey, the body was crushed. It wasn't a killing blow. So something like that would be hard to fake. So you can kind of believe that, okay, that's how Oakheart died, a rock fall. So what about Redtail? Because Tiger Claw tried to say Oakheart killed Redtail. No. So we do have confirmation. The eyewitness and testimonies, but they're cats. It's the best they could do. So we have confirmation that this is what happened. That Tiger Claw is a very dangerous cat. Do you think, though, even with this new information, when Fireheart does present it to Blue Star, do you think she's going to believe him? I'm not sure. Well, actually, I do know about the series, but for this video's case, not sure. Do you think she might still be struggling? Even if she heard the information and knows this is the truth, she might struggle with the fact that she trusted this cat. She trusted Tiger Claw, and now she can't. Or will she question Fireheart and say she can't trust Fireheart because Fireheart must be lying? Something big is gonna happen. We can tell. And it's gonna involve definitely River Clan and Thunder Clan. I'll leave it here. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Please be safe out there in this crazy mixed up universe of ours.